And the question of all questions, will I shoot my eggplant if I concealed carry? Safe. Just a quick reminder that what I'm talking about in this video is just based on my own personal experience and is by no means professional advice. Yes, this can be entertaining and informative, but it's by no means a replacement for an experienced, qualified instructor. Always make sure to get real hands-on training if you have any doubts or questions. Before we get started, I do make all these videos on my own dime and time, so I could use your help. If you like this video and the content I put out, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video, and you'll actually help this channel grow and get this message out to more people like yourself. And as a matter of fact, I'm trying to get to 1,000 followers at the moment, so if you could help me reach that milestone, that would be awesome. I may also mention a few items I currently use that you can buy from the Amazon affiliate links. These are no means recommendations or necessarily the best option for you, just available to try if you want. Also, if you want to leave me a tip and feel extra generous, I've left a CashApp link below so you can help me out more directly. Either way, I appreciate you taking the time out of your very valuable day to hang out with me.
Back to the lecture at hand.
If you're going to carry, 99.9999% of the time, the best thing to do is to have a round in the chamber. That said, the thing that might scare you about this is whether or not you're going to shoot off your egg. Valid concern, but statistically you're more likely to have to use someone's pronouns in your lifetime than you will shooting off your biologically assigned parts. In my own process of getting comfortable with carrying, it's been nearly impossible to find recent incidences of modern firearms having an accidental or negligent discharge while holstered. While a particular big name brand that rhymes with Stig has been in some hot water because of a popular handgun model of theirs, carrying, especially with a round in the chamber, is safe. Safer even than the most common thing you do, which is getting in your car and driving. Like many things when it comes to complex and dangerous activities, safety and processes can dramatically lessen your odds of getting hurt. Use your very serious concern about shooting off your eggplant to be more alert and take every appropriate step needed to ensure your precious doesn't get filleted by a hot ball of fast spiraling lead. Before we move on, let me make sure to make it abundantly clear that I'm by no means an expert. I'm simply using this platform as a way of having a conversation with you, and maybe we can discuss paths to options that would best suit your needs. Since I'm just sharing my learning experiences with you, I'm not necessarily going to recommend any specific belts, holsters, or other products. I can speak highly about a holster, belt, or other retention device based on my own particular experiences and needs. That aside, I just think it wouldn't be appropriate for me to tell you what you need for your circumstances. First of all, before we get into any tools or products you can buy, the most critical thing you should familiarize yourself with are the 5 gun safety rules. 1. Always treat every handgun as if it's loaded. 2. Always keep the muzzle or front of the gun, where the bullet escapes from, pointed in a safe direction. 3. Keep your finger off the trigger until you are ready to shoot. 4. Only point your gun at something you intend to shoot. 5. Know your target and what's beyond it, and I'd also add what's between you and your target as well. To be clear, there are more, but that's something we can discuss in a whole different series of videos. Not only do you want to make sure you know these rules, you want to internalize them and make them as real in your life as gravity is. Knowing so, we can discuss how you should properly handle and operate a firearm in as safe a manner as possible. I also want you to establish your understanding of them because the very process of carrying will present certain, let's call them, momentary exceptions to these rules. Now that you're getting acquainted with the safety rules, the next thing you should get intimately familiar with is the gun itself. Obviously, you might choose to have any number of available firearms currently on the market. That said, spend a lot of time with it. Get to know the parts of not just any gun, but your gun. Depending on how the controls are laid out on yours, the manual of arms may be different from one model to another. Getting as intimately acquainted with your gun should help you to understand its nuances, minor quirks, and performance. Does it fit properly in your hand, or is it too big or too small to be handled properly? Can you reach and operate the controls safely and easily? Is everything where it should be and taken care of, or are there any rough spots or edges that can catch on you or your clothes? Holsters. Like I said, I'm not going to recommend any particular brands here. I can tell you that I have been running the Superstition Concealment light-bearing holster for the Polymer 80 Glock 17 model. I originally got into this brand after modifying my first pistol, my P365. Superstition was the only one I saw at the time of support and endorsement of the Chris Precision, who made the grip module for my last pistol. I deeply appreciate Superstition's owner and operator for his work ethic and deep attention to detail. Not only is he very focused on putting together the best products out there, he has been very open and communicative about any questions I have as a newbie. Through our discussions, he was able to guide me to the best fitting holster for my current gun. To be clear, while I have an excellent experience with them, it's by no means an endorsement since I can't account for all your own needs with your gun. Whatever brand you choose to go with, ensure you go with something that thoroughly covers the trigger well to keep anything from pressing on the trigger and causing it to go off. It's for this reason that I've opted to go with rigid Kydex instead of other options like leather. At this point, I've realized that I've taken you way too far down this rabbit hole than I really needed to, especially if you're just starting out and trying to sort through all the information out there. Even with all this information, we're only scratching the surface because so much of what you need to know is dependent on your unique set of circumstances. That said, we're going to come to our next crucial set of concerns about making sure you don't shoot your eggplant: clothes. Your clothes, or rather your garment, as it's referred to in this context, is what's going to help provide you with the proper structures to support your gun and holster. In order to do this, you'll need something with a decent amount of rigidity to keep your whole system from sagging and moving around. It's for this reason that I've opted to use the NexBelt EDC belt after trying to use my regular belt for about the first 6 months of carrying. Normal belts can probably work for you if you're going to carry a smaller pistol. Even though my first gun was smaller, upgrading to a larger metal frame made the system sag and move around. So the best thing I could do was just to cinch my old belt together, tighter to keep it from jumping around. This was a problem since it made access to my gun more difficult. As far as the garment goes, you'll generally need pants with belt loops to make this whole system work. You might also need to start wearing an undershirt to keep the holster off of your skin and keep from rubbing your fupa raw. Your overshirt is going to need to have enough clearance so you can safely and smoothly get to your gun. Tighter garment is going to stay tighter to your body and might hinder your access to your gun. However you put your whole clothing system together, what you need to be abundantly careful about is that it does not obstruct, impede, or create any issues for your gun and holster. Now, you and I are going to piece all this together. You're now clearly aware of the gun safety rules because you beat it into your head. You know you should treat your gun as if it's always loaded, regardless of however many times you've checked, removed the magazine, and cleared the chamber yourself. You always point the muzzle in a safe direction. You make sure you keep your finger as far away and out of the trigger well if you're not taking a shot. You have a rigid, well-designed holster that ensures nothing can access your trigger and inadvertently press on the trigger. It is solid and can stay in place so you can consistently, reliably, and smoothly draw and holster your gun. Your clothes are worn in a way that provides proper support and rigidity for your carry system, including your gun and holster. It's worn in as clean of a way that nothing should bunch up, impede, or obstruct or apply pressure on the trigger as you draw or holster. All this is just as detailed yet comprehensive as I could make it to make sure you don't have an accidental or negligent discharge that could either lead to an embarrassing trip to the hospital or a life-altering emergency. Hopefully, you can start here. Build proficiency, invest time in the repetitions, and test and integrate proper equipment. Gun ownership is a right that bears great responsibility that you have to account for daily. Again, I make all these videos on my own dime and my own time, so any help you can spare would be amazing. Like the video if you liked it, leave a thought or a question down in the comments below, and if you want to stay on top of when I'll be dropping the next video, go ahead and subscribe, making sure to hit the little notifications bell. While I don't specifically endorse the items I've mentioned in this video, I have affiliate links to some of them below too. I do have a Cash App link down below as well if you feel like leaving me a tip. Thanks once again for your time. You could have been doing anything else or been anywhere else but here, and I thank you for sharing this moment with me. This has been your homie, Mark. I'll see you soon. You stuck around for the end credits scene. There's no end credit scene, but if you paid attention to the video, you realized that I didn't address athleisure, or if you spend most of your life in gym clothes like I usually do, you're gonna need an option for carrying. I'll go over that in another video. Thanks again for checking this out.